All right, Pisces, welcome to September. And I'm going to do an astronumerology mini reading for you, just so that you're aware specifically how the energies are affecting you in the various astrological houses, right? So let's start with, of course, this is Pisces rising. So that means Pisces rising means Pisces is in your first house in your astrological chart, okay? So for the month of September, we have an energy of the Venus Mercury K2 energy falling together. Okay, Venus Mercury K2. So Venus is the goddess of love who rules like Taurus and Libra, balancing kind of home kind of energy. And Mercury is more of a person who likes to get things done. That's the Virgo and Gemini energy. So it's a worker kind of energy. And then K2 is the energy of I'm going to unveil secrets. I'm going to reveal things. And so together you might have revelations in one, body parts that are impacted by Venus and Mercury, and two, those houses that are impacted by Venus and Mercury. And so that means secrets may come to play. And love is not just the I'm in love with you, I like you kind of thing. It is things that you love, like arts, things that you're attracted to, not just with a person. So it's more than one level. That's the major energy that is happening. That is happening in your 11th and 12th houses. So 11th house and technology and things of that nature. Venus is actually in that sector first. And then Mercury and K2 are in your 12th house, which 12th house is, most people think of it as the death house, but that is Pisces' natural house, right? Pisces is the natural ruler of the 12th house, dreaming kind of world of spirituality to the next level. So you may have some insights based on your spiritual knowledge, your intuition, your dreams that reveal things. Could be revelations about the gut. It could be revelations about writings. It could be revelations about projects that you're working on, ways to get things done faster. It could be revelations about a person who fits in the category, a young person who needs tutelage of some sort. That type of energy is there. Okay. So that's the start. That's how you start September, with that type of energy. And then as we move on, we're going to go day by day just to see what happens here. That energy keeps moving. And then eventually we see, let's see how long this takes. As we get to about the 19th or 20th of the month, we also see Saturn and Rahu get together. Saturn and Rahu getting together are going to be in your sixth house. And Saturn and Rahu is Saturn is, most people think of Saturn as this kind of old energy, and they're like, Saturn just kind of takes its time. It's way out there. It's all by itself. It's lonely, and nobody really likes it, and because it's too far away for everyone. So that gives an isolation type energy, right? So that isolation type energy in the sixth house, which your sixth house is normally about obstacles and enemies, your health, debt, routines. So things with lawyers, body afflictions and anxiety. So you could, by chance, feel a little isolated, feel like things aren't going exactly the way I need for them to go. I'm all by myself out here. And the way to overcome that is to go out and interact with other people, right? You could also have some issues in your abdominal area, in your digestive tract, in your heart area. And those are things that you have to consult your healthcare practitioner in order to learn more about. Pay attention to your body, pay attention to your intuition, because it is going to guide you. This can also be a competitive time for you, and you might discover that you have an enemy that you were not aware of. And not necessarily enemy in the sense of somebody's trying to like do you harm, but someone who's not on your side, right? You may have someone that you thought you guys were working together towards the same goal, only to discover that perhaps that's not the case. All right. So, this is a time for you to be disciplined. This is a time for you to go within and actually pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to autoimmune things because Saturn can indicate autoimmune disorders, especially. Let's see if you have this. Okay, maybe not as many, but a few arthritic type things, not as major. So that can be occurring right at this time. And then the nervous system. So watch out for the nervous system, right, during this time. Okay, so Saturn, this is another piece that I want you to realize with this energy. Saturn is a worker. Saturn, because Saturn's the old man, how did the old man become old? By working and doing things to get to that age. They've worked a long time. So there may be some things that you need to work on, and there may be some things that you feel like you have been working on and you haven't seen any progress with, and you might actually find out that that's because there's somebody who's been working against you when it comes to that project or specific item that you've been working on. Okay, so then that's just with the let's move a little bit more. Let's go a couple more days just to see anything else just really stands out. Well, what do you know? In your first and second houses at the very end, the last week of the month, you're going to have the moon get together with Mars. The moon, revealer of secrets, nurturer, kind of, giving insights, your intuition becoming on fire, right? The Mars energy is going to be go, go, go. So you may have some plans some things that you thought of, and the Mars is going to give you a little bit of action towards it. So that last week, at least around the 25th, you might see more movement. Your dreams might become more active. And then you might decide that things in my first house, my body, my second house, my mouth, my face, and things that I might communicate more. I might actually work on some things. There might be some things in those areas that you see movement on. Perhaps you start running, right? Perhaps you start taking up something to where you're doing more breath work, right? You might be doing something to calm your nervous system with breath work. Uh, Things like that you might be doing, or you might need to do. Okay. Make sure there's there's no. So your key areas, Pisces, for the month of September. It's going to be your 11th house, your 12th house, your first house, your second house, and your sixth house, right? 11th, 12th, first, second, sixth. That's where you're going to have a lot of energy during this month, right? So your first house, your body, your second house, and your career. That's the other part of your second house. Not necessarily long-term money, but your career might be some movement in that, some action. You might change careers during this September time. Your sixth house, which is your disease and your health, and not obstacles and routines and sports and things of that nature, competition. And then, of course, your 11th house, which 11th house is money, entertainment, um, information technology, IT, computer things, worldview with friends, right? Because the 11th house is Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about friends. Could be some things revealing with your siblings. It's like your tribe. The 11th house is like your tribe, and then you move into, of course, the 12th house, and the 12th house is home. It's in line with death in a sense because it's the ending. It's preparing for that next transition, and so it's a very spiritual house, right? And sometimes it can be about what you lose, what you let go of, and in this case, you may be letting go of a young child, and at one level, you might be letting go of a young child, a young energy, a playful energy might be leaving in your life this time. And 12th house can also be seen as a type of prison. Be careful because 12th house can be a prison of the mind, and it could be immature thinking that causes you to have a prison of the mind. So you really, really, really have to pay attention to your thoughts. Be clear. You might have to say a lot of affirmations to let you know that, hey, I'm worthy, and just stay in a positive mindset. And let me now go to my other page and go back. Ooh, too far back. Okay, so let's look at the Pisces Dasha for right now, just to see the energy. So you have an added Mercury and Saturn energy together. In addition to that, remember I said Saturn in your sixth house, but in your Dasha, you have the Mercury and Saturn energy kind of flowing together. So that means everywhere that Mercury is and everywhere that Saturn is going to be like extra heightened for you. And in the very start of September, Saturn is in that sixth house and kind of in the seventh house. A little bit of both places. Rahu and Saturn are together, but Rahu is more in the sixth and Saturn is more in the seventh. And then it kind of shifts a little bit. And the seventh house is the partnerships and contracts and relationships and things like that. So marriage, yes, but also businesses, right? So it's a little bit of stability needs to be there. Read everything, okay? Because again, you might be a hard worker, you might be getting a new job, you might not be paid appropriately. Read the fine prints. Make sure that everything that's in the contract is what you need to be in the contract, okay? So I think that's it for, and so let's also mention, excuse me there, this, I want to mention also with this being the ninth month, your ninth house is highlighted in the ninth month. And the ninth energy is who? Sagittarius, right? So Sagittarius is ruled by who? Jupiter. So everywhere that the Jupiter and Sagittarius energy is in your chart, now Sagittarius isn't going to necessarily be in your ninth house. Sagittarius is the ninth house, starting with Aries as the first house. So everywhere that Sagittarius is in your actual chart, and everywhere that Jupiter is in your actual chart, you're also going to see some hits of energy in those areas, right? So let me go back to my other chart and show you an example of where Sagittarius and the Jupiter is. This is September 1st. So Sagittarius is in the sixth house, in the seventh house, that kind of energy starting um, in the beginning, right? Because Sagittarius is with the Rahu. That's where it's at. So that means your sixth house is going to be have one level of energy in it, right? But then when you go towards the ninth house is going to have some Taurus energy. And Taurus is more of a home type energy, also that Venus ruling. So this means that in your ninth house, which is Sagittarius normal house, this Taurus home type energy is going to be impactful as well. This means you're going to, if you think of if a Taurus is kind of take the bull by the horns, kind of, and forge ahead, another worker type energy, another dedicated energy, another get things done, but also a stubborn energy at times. Also, energy of not being flexible, right? And this is the ninth house is normally about traveling and education and knowledge, and Sagittarius in general is an extremely intelligent type energy. And this person right here with the Taurus energy might need to focus on their education, might need to focus on the travel, might need to focus on bringing in some good luck, right? Might need to focus on some joy, okay? Might need to expand their knowledge base, okay? And it's going to take dedication, which comes from that Taurus energy, okay? So that's it for you, Pisces. And I'm just over 15 minutes, and I want these to be 15 minutes or less. Bye. If you like this, if it resonates, leave me a thumbs up and let me know.